So before we start this episode, I wanted to give a shout out to my brother William. We call him Woo. I found out that he actually listens to our podcast quite a bit. So I just wanted him to know that, I appreciate it. Shout out to my brother Damien, who also is an avid fan. And I think that's cool. I'm happy you guys are supportive. From here on out, I think it's going to be Danny, Chris, and Kevin. We're working on some shit in the background. Some big things might be happening here soon. We will get back to your original programming now, huh?
Welcome to Weekly Talk. Featuring Danny
and Chris. So it's episode 27 of Weekly Talk featuring.
Oh, Kev's back. Oh no, Danny.
Yeah, come on, Danny.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear me.
I can't hear me.
Okay, Danny.
And
Kev's back.
Kevin's back. So Danny is very used to the idea of being able to hear us through the headphones, because pretty much the whole time we've done that, we've been able to hear us through the headphones. I've made a couple of adjustments, and you no longer can do that. And that bothers her, like,
Very
significantly.
much.
It bothers her fucking hardcore.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
You know why?
Because it's annoying.
Yeah.
Obviously this week there's a lot of shit to talk about, but before we even go into it, I noticed something today, and I want to ask both of you about it. Justin Bieber had posted a Twitter post about his song Yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Kevin?
No.
Yummy?
No.
All right, well, Yummy is his most recent song, but the Twitter post was about a remix featuring Megan Thee Stallion, okay? Joe Budden reposted it or retweeted it and said, of course, using us for them likes. How do you feel about that?
I don't.
Joe Budden, he feels like the white people are using the black people for, like, pretty much like culture vulture or shit like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't get the give me the backstory.
Yeah,
like
like, I don't
aside from
understand.
the Joe Budden part, like what's the Yummy?
Oh,
What's
Yummy.
this Yummy and the person you're talking about?
Hold on. I'll play you Yummy. You guys obviously can't hear it because we're not allowed to do that, so we'll be back. Now that I showed everybody what I'm talking about, it's actually with Summer Walker, not Megan Thee Stallion. My bad. But how do you feel? Do you think just Joe Budden, not Biden, Joe Budden's just trying to be something?
I think that what I don't get about it is the whole "you sure seem to need us" comment. Like that's so vague.
Well, I want to. If he's talking like you sure seem to need hip hop or you sure seem to need, features, Justin Bieber's been a big deal for my whole life.
Not only that, but think about it. Who was it? Usher, who kind of discovered him a little bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, he does all like Justin Bieber. I'm not saying that his career has fallen off at all because it hasn't, but more of his bigger stuff has been with Chance.
All right,
DJ
the fact
Khaled,
that you said that, DJ Khaled, Chance, you got Travis Scott, there's all kinds of.
It's not like this is something brand new to where it's say Sam Hunt from country coming in to say, "Hey, I'm going to make this hip hop track now," which I need.
Danny,
that.
what do you think of Kevin mentioning Sam Hunt?
What about it, Chris?
That's fucking weird.
He wasn't expecting that.
How do you know who the fuck Sam Hunt is?
Oh, because I love country music, man.
What?
I do. I really.
Alright, dude.
Okay, so
all right, you're gonna have to leave.
no, this is a different conversation for a different time. Because country music isn't today what it was. I don't even like.
No,
calling it
country is
music.
definitely poppy now.
Yeah, and you can thank Taylor Swift for that.
Yeah,
All right.
I'd agree with that.
What do you think, Danny? Is Joe Budden just trying to throw out any fucking thing and hope it lands?
I feel like he's trash talking, honestly. Like,
Do you feel like Justin Bieber has to use the culture for relevancy?
I mean, I don't really understand. It's like Kevin said, it's very vague. I feel like he's just saying that he can't make a hit song without someone being on it with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's so fucking inaccurate.
I agree. I actually like his songs without anyone featuring on his shit.
Justin Bieber, I was never a Bieber fan until he put out like Purpose, and it had those, is it too late now to say sorry? All that shit.
Right.
He gained a lot of fans that he may have never had because of that album. Right. So I don't think he needs to use anybody for any kind of clout.
No.
I became a Bieber fan with the what was that video he did with the couple? It was the Asian couple in bed, and
I'm sorry. What do you mean? Where are you now?
No.
I think is it too late now to say I'm sorry?
No, that one wasn't it.
I'm thinking.
This is embarrassing.
Justin Bieber. What do you mean? Oh.
Love Yourself.
Oh yeah.
Love Yourself. That's what it was.
All right, yeah, and it was that album. That was the album Purpose, and that really created because he went from, these tweens to fucking adult material.
Because that album that Love Yourself was kind of just like hey, I'm not gonna sit there and fuck you. I'm just tell you to go love yourself. You go do you. Mm-hmm. You need to be you worry about you, and that was kind of like the biggest middle finger that I've seen in a long time.
So yeah, I kind of just wanted to open with that because I'm kind of getting tired of Joe Budden, to be honest. I don't know. Danni she don't fuck with Joe Budden, so she's probably he's not hitting her radar. But I fuck with people who he hates, and I see shit about him almost daily, and it's fucking annoying.
So if you remember that, here Kev goes talking about M again. If you remember,
for the record, he just did get that number 10 consecutive album at number 1, and he had 12 out of 20 songs debut on the top 100.
How about that?
What the fuck?
How about that?
And keep in mind, 4 of those songs were just skits that wouldn't have been, so 12 out of 16 songs is what we'll go with.
but that what was it? I think it was Rolling Stones gave it a 3.5 stars.
What?
Like something like that.
But they said that his older albums, they only gave it 2.5 or something.
Get the fuck.
Yeah, it wasn't the critics are they're all over it.
Something about Eminem is now the only person to have 3 100% rated Metacritic albums. I don't know.
Oh, it was because it was did you see on Reddit to where the pundits from the Kanye album, whatever, their little Twitter war that they were having, to where what was going on was on Twitter, a bunch of Kanye fans were getting together and they were going on the Metacritic website and they were just spam rating it terribly.
What?
Just to drop the
music
score.
To be murdered by?
Yeah,
really?
Just to drop the score. And at one point in time, it had dropped down to 86 or something like that. And then the stands of the world found out about it, and then everybody started reviewing it, and then they got it back up to be above, what was it, Pimpin' a Butterfly or something like that, the Kendrick album.
Why? Just let the motherfucking music speak for itself. Don't try to... And Danni knows how I feel about this because, we talked about last week, certain people that we are associated with had streamed the Mac Miller album, not because they like Mac Miller, but because they didn't want Eminem to be above him.
Right. But, I'm trying to, so what I was getting at was when Evan Sway did that little thing, that interview for Kamikaze, he was talking about how in Slaughterhouse, that group was the greatest group of wordsmiths that were available at that time. And how that group could have become something absolutely more than what it was. And the problem with it was the fact that they couldn't focus on the group. They couldn't get together on the big picture. They're all worried about their their own individual goals and their own individual ambitions. And they weren't looking at the big picture. And Joe Budden, I guess, was a huge part of that, to where he kind of blames him for ruining Slaughterhouse.
All right, so Budden has one hit. One hit. Joe Budden is only known for one song. All right. With that being said, you would think that he would be willing to jump all over anything that Eminem's wanting him to be on.
You would assume.
I don't understand how he's able to like. He just like spits in Eminem's face. Like Eminem pretty much revived your career. All right, you went from pump it up to Slaughterhouse.
Right, the Slaughterhouse.
You don't do that.
The Slaughterhouse.
And it's disrespectful, man. He's been Eminem's biggest hater for, and like you said, I think it's because he sees Eminem's individual accolades.
Correct. And he's focused on the individuality. He wants to be, I mean, I guess like everybody, when you get into music, like you want to be labeled as one of the best. You don't do something to be mediocre at anything. I mean, take this podcast, for example. It's small, it's starting, it's new. You know, you don't want to just do this to be.
We are the best.
And that's what I'm saying.
Danny, are we not the best podcast that nobody knows about?
I think we are.
Yeah.
You don't go into anything
Hey, man.
and just say, hey, I want to be mediocre
Kev.
at it.
Kev.
Yo.
Okay. Will you please not put us down?
I'm not.
I'm
I'm
just
not.
fucking with you.
What I'm saying
I'm
is
just fucking with you.
this is new. You know what I mean? We're learning. We're growing.
Oh yeah,
and
dude. We're definitely in with. Keep in mind, all of us have jobs, you know, so it's not easy to just focus on a podcast.
Right.
And I think, like you said, we're growing, we're learning. We just figured out the reaction shit.
But look at it and say, okay, so say we're doing this, and it's the three of us now here in this room. Okay, we're doing this here. We're working on this project, but in all actuality, I'm only focusing on my own podcast. But I'm just kind
I
of
see
here.
what you're saying.
You know, I don't
all
really
right,
care about this too
let's-
much. I want to do my own thing.
Eminem gathers Danny, Chris, and Kev to do WTF, right? But then Chris is like, you know, I kind of want to work on Chris, not WTF. So
Exactly.
I said, yeah, Joe Budden is a piece of shit.
But
They could have accomplished a lot. Slaughterhouse could have been the biggest rap group of all time.
right, and in my opinion, I think like UGK. You think of the Underground Kings? That was amazing, and that yeah, you're right. It could have been it could have been so much.
And then you got Lord Jamar with Brand Nubian. Who, dude, for real, you're the worst person on your fucking rap group.
Yeah.
Nobody even
Yeah.
respects you, dude.
Yeah.
Don't try to like that's like being benched in a fucking Super Bowl game. You were there, but you didn't do much. You know what I mean?
You contributed something.
Yeah,
but
you
it's
you
like
gave somebody some water, maybe.
yeah, is the third string is the equipment manager still getting a Super Bowl ring?
No, all right. So I liked all these analogies.
But anyway, let's get off the M talk because
Yeah.
Danny gets bored with us.
How do you feel about Joe? All right, oh, no, hold on. Let's talk about one more thing. Danny,
What?
where do you stand on Lupe Fiasco?
Oh, I love him.
Do you?
Yeah.
Did you know Lupe is trying to become the newest member of Slaughterhouse?
No, I didn't.
How would you feel about that? Would you fuck with Slaughterhouse more because of it or less?
I mean,
She hates Slaughterhouse. Not that
I-
she hates, but she doesn't care for Slaughterhouse.
if Lupe Fiasco is a part of it, I might.
All right, and I think a lot of people would. Lupe brings a whole new style to it. He would actually offer because Lupe can chop it up. He has the melody. He can sing really well. He's got the bars. He's got as far as lyricist goes, he should have been on it to begin with.
The thing with Lupe for me, you know how I feel about Lupe. I think Lupe is the biggest name that doesn't get radio
Oh, the
play.
most underrated MC ever will go to probably Lupe.
Because the man he raps about skateboarding, and he's that conscious hip hop artist. Drogas Wave is one of the most thought provoking albums, but the thing about it is it's that music that you have to think about. Like some of his tracks, Little Weapon, is absolutely mind boggling at the fact that he's talking about child soldiers. That shit doesn't sell. Dumb It Down. Hey,
Oh, Dumb
I
It
love
Down.
that.
Like-
Dumb It Down is probably the most.
Dumb It Down.
The smartest song you will ever hear is Dumb It Down. Well, I don't know, because my favorite song by him is Switch, The Revenge, or The Science Project, not The Revenge. I don't know why I said that. But it's What is it sampling? It's like one of those Paul Wall songs from back in the day. Still tipping on Bobo or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he I'm the meanest, and I mean this. You the meanest to something. It's just fucking his lyrics, the way that his flow, dude. His flow is uncomparable. You can't touch it.
So there was a tweet that he actually put out today, to where it was because I'm subscribed to the Lupe subreddit, and it says there's a whole generation of liberal artists obsessed with meticulously studying your catalog, paintings, writings, plays, and music. And he goes, add book to that list real soon. So, is Lupe potentially going to write some type of book?
I would buy it.
I would.
Did you fuck with Logic's book by chance? It was a
No.
bestseller. New
No, I
York
didn't see it.
bestseller. It was I think it's cool, man. I think Logic's was more just like a, for your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
But Lupe I feel like would be for your
Thoughts?
thought. I think you would have to you're going to learn, you're going to take away something.
When you talk about somebody who seems like they are very well educated, and not maybe necessarily in like the Harvard accolades, but when you say someone who has a self-study of not only the game, the culture, the society, and I'm not afraid to talk about important things. Bitch
Conflict
bad.
Diamonds.
Bitch bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Woman
Bitch
good.
bad,
Woman good.
Woman good.
Lady better.
Lady better.
He like
misunderstood.
like he's talking about these things that people don't want to talk about.
Well, I mean, and the
And-
verses are pretty much about how the son only knows bitch because his mom is proud to say she's a bad bitch.
Bad
And
bitch,
also on top
bad
of that,
bitch.
to where it's saying, hey, that's what he's going to grow up and say, hey, you know what? If my mom calls herself a bitch, I'm going to refer to every female as a bitch because that's what they want. If that's what they want to be and that's how they want to identify themselves as,
Man, you're
you a
talking
bad
about-
bitch. So what up, bitch?
You are talking about some motherfucking throwbacks.
And
Yeah.
and I personally, I've never even thought about referring to a female as a bitch because that's not.
I understand that bitch bad. I get where that comes from. I understand why women want to be the bad
The
bitch,
bad bitch.
but it's so ignorant.
It is.
But it's also it's that double standard. Okay.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because it goes like this. It's if Danni refers to herself as a bitch, she goes, I'm such a bitch. Like, and I go, yeah, you are such a bitch.
Now she's gonna get
now
pissed.
she's offended. Just the same
Yeah.
way as I go and I say, hey, what's up, my?
Yeah.
And you go, hey, what's up, my? And I go, hey, you can't say that. Well, why not?
What are we talking about?
Chris,
What's up? What?
we not.
Wait, what?
We're
The
not.
book?
Nah, I'm just fucking.
Or are we talking about what?
I'm
what?
like-
I know.
Hey.
I was trying to add, throw in that
Hey.
last word.
Hey.
Yeah.
Do you remember? It was on Lasers. I'm actually trying to Google it right now because it was one of my favorite songs. It was fuck, man, fuck. I'm just gonna pause. Do you guys remember "Words I Never Said" by Lupe and Skylar Grey?
Yeah.
When he put that out, there was a lot of controversy, I would say, because what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like he was talking. Lupe's always been about politics. All right. So he says, "I really think the war on terror is a bunch of bullshit, just a poor excuse for you to use up all your bullets."
Yeah.
That was like
And
going
when-
against the system at
Yeah.
the time. He was doing what Eminem did at mainstream with Mosh and shit like that. But Lupe did it, I feel like, in a more sensible approach than Eminem. Eminem's was anger. Lupe's was
Truth.
intellect.
And one of the songs that Lupe has that will forever hit me to my core, only because of personal thing. Beautiful Lasers. Beautiful Lasers is like my song, I guess you can say. Like, people always have that something to where they go, it feels like an artist wrote it for them, or like, me, I can relate to you because of this song or title, whatever. Like a lot of Mac fans, Mac Miller, a lot of people can relate to that because of the things that they were going through in their time, whether it be drug addiction or suicide or whatever. But for whatever reason, Beautiful Lasers speaks to me. And go ahead.
I'm going to have to check it out. I'm all about, I like finding out what songs speak to people and listening to them just so I can kind of get a base an idea on who that person is. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you can tell a lot about a person by the music that they value. Not that they like, but that they would put above everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So in the beginning, in like the second verse, I'm gonna just give you this real quick lyric. It goes, "This world is such a fucked up place. My mind is in such a fucked up shape. Everything down here sucks. Maybe what's up there is great."
Oh.
And it goes on. It's we all got to go one day. I just want to cut to the chase. I want to stop these nightmares. I just want to touch your face. I just want to touch her face.
Is this like a post-suicidal song, or
The best way to describe it is it's this. He's in love. You just have to listen to it, and then you take away from it. Like, I don't want to, especially since you like can't recollect it. I'm sure you've heard it before, but since it doesn't stick out, I want you to listen to it, and then you tell me what, and then we can talk about it next week.
Well, you remember that song I told you about over the week? Pick Up Your Fucking Phone.
Yeah,
that's like one of the best songs ever, dude. There was one line, and I only even listened to the song because somebody posted it to Twitter, and it made me think, oh my god, I haven't heard that in forever, and it is Danny. What did you think of that song I sent you? Pick Up the Phone by Lupe.
Did you just send it to me?
No, I sent it to you over the week.
I probably didn't open it, Chris, because I don't remember it.
Here we go with the lyrics. It goes, "We were like, if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around, does it really make a sound? That's romantic and profound, but now we're like lumberjacks holding the axes that bring it down." Dude, think about just what the fuck he just said.
Right.
He's taking his relationship and comparing it to something beautiful, something that was beautiful, and went to,
it went to poop,
which is pretty much everything in the world.
It was something that was beautiful at one point in time.
What do you think about Lupe, Danny?
I already told you.
I know.
Actually, I like his music.
I want to hear what your favorite song is by him. And Danny's not good with song names.
No.
No.
She does not know
way to put
song
her on
names.
the spot.
I know, Chris. Why would you
I
do
put her
that?
on the spot all the time.
Well, I do like that, oh, come on. Other than Bitch Bad.
Yeah, you got to talk to your mic, baby.
Well, Chris, you're making me think, and I have to fucking come off the spot. I don't know. I like that Bitch Bad.
Bitch Bad.
Hip hop saved my life.
I like his Conflict Time. I like his Revenge of the Nerds. The whole CD, the whole collection.
Why'd you ask me that? You know I wasn't, like, partaking in that conversation.
I know.
I'm trying to look up shit I want to talk about.
Well, I'm trying to make you involved on this whole episode.
If I don't
this
chime
isn't
in, that means I don't have shit prepared for that.
All right, so where are we taking this?
Just
then?
an FYI. Well, I thought we were going to do other things. I have no idea why we were talking about Lupe.
I know. I don't know how we got
And
on.
we were
Lupe.
talking about. I knew we were going to talk about Eminem.
How do we get on Lupe?
I don't know.
Oh, Slaughterhouse. Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, we bridge off way too much. We need to take this car and drive it straight, but we keep on
Well,
fucking
I thought we kind of
turning
had.
left.
You remember that Facebook post that Josh put about you one time, and it was the greatest Facebook post I've ever seen. I'm telling everybody about it. It goes, "Hey, driving is a lot like coloring. The best thing you have to do, the only thing you have to do is stay between the lines. And right now, Chris is not coloring very well."
He still doesn't color very well, just an FYI.
All right, first off, that's fucked up. I don't recall this.
This was like 12, 15 years ago. It was the greatest thing that I've ever seen.
All right, Josh, if you're listening,
I'll never forget it.
Eat a fucking penis. And I say penis because you're not worthy of a dick.
Oh.
Ooh, I'm just joking.
Love you.
I love you more. All right, Danny, where do you want to go?
Well, I thought we were going to talk about the Grammys.
All right, so, well,
What?
I feel the Grammys were a fucking joke.
I did until, you were really bitching about Tyler, the Creator. And I was like wondering why he even won anything, but I actually like ran across one of his songs that I really like.
Okay.
And it was just on accident on the Spotify. So if you guys ever want to hear one of his songs that I personally like, it's called Earthquake, EARF, Quake, not like Earth. So, I mean, I don't know if you heard his speech, Chris. We didn't really listen to the Grammys, but he was bitching about basically how I agree with him. The Grammys can be a little biased on the what do we call it? racism
the
kind of in a way.
nominations,
Yeah.
the selections, everything.
He was
I
kinda
feel like they
pissed off.
use race just to get a viewership, and then they fucking neglect it when it comes to actually awarding it.
Well, he was part of the rap.
Yeah, I know.
Album
He won
in-
Rap Album of the Year, which I didn't hate that he won Rap
wasn't-
Album of the Year. He shouldn't have won over J. Cole. He shouldn't have won over Meek Mill. He shouldn't. How do you? Tyler, the Creator's not a rapper.
He didn't agree. That's what he said in his speech. He said, "I'm sick and tired of people like labeling black artists as either rap or urban like categories." He didn't agree with it. That's what he was kind of saying. Like, why can't he be part of the hip hop like side of it? Because if you listen to the one song I just mentioned, it is more like a soul, like R&B type of song. I have no idea how he got rap album of the year, because I agree with him. He was labeled in the wrong category.
I don't hate Tyler the Creator. I don't feel.
I've never listened to him.
He should not have won over J. Cole.
Well, I'm just saying I really liked his
You know
song,
how many
but I
times
would
J.
not
Cole's
say-
been snubbed?
Yeah, but I feel like he's right about them like mislabeling genres.
All right,
where
how do
they-
you feel about the people thinking that Nipsey only took a Grammy because he died?
I listened to Nipsey's album and not willingly, Chris, but I did listen to it, and I actually
What do
thought
you mean not
his-
willingly? I thought you liked it whenever.
yeah, but you made me listen to it.
Yeah,
It wasn't like I
Nipsey's-
went out of my way to listen to Nipsey Hussle, but
Racks in the Middle is what won him Rap Performance of the Year, and that's a good fucking song. Do you agree?
I agree. I'm just saying, like,
Did he not earn? Did his death earn him the Grammy, or did he earn him the Grammy?
I think a little bit of both.
All right, I can see that. What do you think, Kevin? You think?
It most definitely did. I'm not taking away from Nipsey at all.
No.
Because what that man did for
The
the
culture.
city, not the culture. I'm talking about the city.
Right.
What he did for LA is right there with Kobe, and we're gonna get to that here in a minute. And I think this is a really, really good segue. But what that man meant to that city, it was almost kind of like the city mourned for him, and not just black, white, whoever. It was, like I said, the entire city. So when you have somebody like that who gets murdered, you appreciate it a little bit more, because you think that, oh, they're going to be around for forever. You take it for granted.
Nipsey, man, he, like you said, he gave back. He wasn't a leech.
Right.
He just a man of the community.
He was a role model.
Russell Westbrook went out and got that 2020 game
That's for
in honor
That's for
of-
Nipsey.
for Nipsey.
That's
Yeah,
for Nipsey.
because Nipsey meant a lot to just about everybody in. Well, I mean, obviously L.A., but
It was the society. Like,
he earned. A lot of his music is Grammy worthy in my eyes. So
I feel like we were talking about, the only reason that we even know of Nipsey Hussle, because I didn't know him until
you're right.
he
You're right.
died.
I didn't bother to check him out until after he passed away.
I didn't even know him. That's what I'm saying. Like, I did not know he existed until someone murdered him.
All right, so MGK, believe it or not, he does teach me a lot about the hip hop gang. He goes, "Bitch, I bang, but I ain't Kirko. Bitch, I hustle, but I ain't Nipsey." So then
right.
you catch on to these names. If
Right.
he's talking about them, I want to check them out. So that's kind of where I heard of Nipsey Hussle, but I didn't fuck with him until after he passed away.
Just like Mac Miller.
However, when I did fuck with him, I was like, wow, this man goes hard.
Mm-hmm.
Him and YG.
Oh, I love YG.
YG, that's as far as like the life of a gangster rapper goes, I think that's him. If he didn't have rap, he would still have gangster. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I don't feel like he's a for show
Like a Lil
gangster
Wayne?
rapper.
Like-
I don't feel like he's only gangster on the mic.
No, it's like T Grizzly.
Fuck T Grizzly.
That's another one. But what you're saying is that's what you're saying.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're
You're
real.
saying-
I feel
right.
like they're real ass MCs. Like I was reading, the Game just put out a.
It's another one.
Did you read about his? He has a big article. I think it was in. What's that? What's that one? What's that magazine called?
Triple XL,
No, the magazine that just fucking slammed Eminem's album.
Rolling Stone.
Yeah. He has an interview, I think, in that, and he's talking about how, he sold platinums. He's a platinum status artist, and he didn't move out of Compton until the day that his son was almost shot. Like,
He stayed in the hood.
you're straight. You're that much about your fucking city that you've got millions, if not, a couple 100 million at that point. Because let's believe it or not, Hate It or Love It was.
He made that much money.
That song was it. That whole album. The Game's first album was it. There was nothing that could touch it that year.
Shit, the LAX was a better album.
I thought that's what I was talking about.
No, so he had Hate It or Love It, and then after that, LAX that came out. That was after
LAX is the one that has My Life.
Yeah, that's LAX.
Well, all right. So he has two albums that were probably. I know the first album went double platinum at least. Because, everybody, you had the Hate It or Love It one. You had the.
That was when he was still a G Unit.
Which other one was with 50? He had two with 50.
Oh, speaking of
It was
50.
the G Unit album.
Guess what?
What?
50 Cent just got his little star on the Hollywood
Get
Walk
the
of Fame.
fuck out of here.
Yep, I just seen it today.
No
I was going to bring
shit.
it up, but since you said 50, I'm going to throw it in there right now.
Hell yeah, that's dope. That's
Okay.
dope. A lot of people don't have that,
No.
actually. My man Elvis Duran does.
Yeah,
He
but
has
I thought it was cool.
Shit. Kevin, come on.
Sorry.
What are some of those game songs with 50?
The G Unit tracks.
You got hit. Oh, this How We Do.
Yeah, with him and Lloyd Banks.
I thought that was on. Yeah, that was on the game CD. The documentary. That was the first CD.
Documentary.
And
then-
that shit went hard as fuck. Let's see. Let's just go ahead. Hey Google. How many albums did the game's documentary sell?
Here's a summary from Wikipedia. In March 2005, the Recording Industry Association of America certified the album double platinum, and by November 2005, the album sold 4.4 million copies in the U.S.
Ain't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
This motherfucker sells 5 million copies of a CD, doesn't leave the hood until his son is almost shot. Those
Loyalty.
are real ass gangsters. I don't think rap is what they want to do for a living. You know what I mean? I think rap just helps them not focus too much on finances.
What was it? It was on the Kamikaze album to where Royce the 5'9", he had the lyric to where it goes, back in my day, we used to bite nickel. Now all you want to do is Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I like that because they call him Nickel 9.
Yeah. And then what else? It was there was something else about where he was like, hey, yeah, we used to hustle. We used to sell drugs. We used to be about the street life. And now you guys just want to just make music in your mom's basement.
Well, I feel like
and pretend to be keyboard warriors.
I feel like that falls into the instant gratification of this society nowadays too. Like, the reason rap had such a, what came from the gangsters and shit, and the reason they had stories that were legit, is because rap was like a hobby. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't their means of income. Now you got Little Xan, who wants to, like you said, sit in his mom's basement and hopes that he can say that Tupac sucks and put out a platinum selling, album.
Right, because I mean, like we were saying last week, to where you have these guys now, they don't have that same struggle.
They don't have a struggle.
It's a different type of hustle now, and I get that. And I understand that times change and whatnot, but you don't have to worry about going to the studio, putting out a demo, sending that demo out to a recording studio, and hoping that a recording studio, somebody's going to listen to it in hopes that they're going to end up getting you signed based off of one album.
You used to have to put your feet on the pavement to get your fucking name out.
You had to go knock on doors. You had to make stuff happen. Now you can essentially do what we're doing right now.
Yeah, hit up
you can talk
and fucking go.
You can talk into a microphone, and we can start making music now and then build this mass following just like you do with your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then once that happens, somebody hears you and goes, oh, hey, yeah, like you have people to where they look at your YouTube channel and go, wow, this dude he's underground. He has 5 million subscribers, 10 million subscribers. Let's take a look at him now.
And that sucks kind of for the artists because, on their own, independently, their grind built them such a mass following that, cool, you're about to get this major record deal, but really what you're about to get is somebody who wants your money.
They're gonna
Somebody
sell
who
you out.
sees your worth, and they're going to suck it. They're going to take it all from you. Back to the Grammys.
Yeah.
I said to Danny, and this is my wholehearted, honest opinion, Ariana Grande was only mentioned to get viewership.
Yeah.
She was not, they did not bring her there for any chance of winning anything. They probably already knew she wasn't going to win one. She was only there because the name Ariana Grande comes with thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of follows. You know what I mean?
Huge. I mean, think about how many, like, she is the Britney Spears of our generation.
Danny, you and I went and seen her.
I know.
How
Oh,
how was that show? This was at the Wolstein Center.
We were completely
Oh, wait, no, not
packed
the
in there.
Wolstein
No,
Center.
it
What
wasn't.
the fuck was that place called? It was in Columbus.
Oh, come on, Danielle. If my aunt was here, she would know it. It was a weird name, but it doesn't matter. It was in Columbus, and the show was completely packed, and I don't even care. I was like, it was mind-blowing. Like, just her performance.
Mind blowing as in, like, good?
Good. I love her voice
Oh, the
is so
shot-
raw. Like,
Schottenstein Center.
yeah. Schultenstein.
Well, her voice is like listening to the CD. You
Yeah,
know what
I mean,
like
it's
her concert
not-
was legit as fuck. But
Crappy.
it was also sold out, and it
She
was
sells out
sold
everything.
out
Yeah.
almost instantly.
Right. She sells out
The
everything.
reason we were able to acquire tickets is because this was a makeup concert because she had missed the original date. So people weren't able to go to the, the date of whatever. Hey, I think you just, all right, yeah, I thought you muted it. You've been muting it the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
look at this,
yeah,
man.
I learned the button. I'm getting hip to it. Anytime I go to hit my vape, I just close.
So I told Danny, I feel like Ariana Grande's name was only mentioned for the sole purpose of the viewership it would come with.
And I agree with that. I'm not saying Billie Eilish didn't deserve her 5
She deserved
Grammys.
some.
But-
listen, Billie Eilish is fire.
Yeah,
Billie
she
Eilish-
is.
is good.
But so is
But
Ariana
Bad
Grande.
Girl was not above 7 rings at all this year.
I don't think so.
7 Rings dominated the charts, all right?
Yeah.
And let's be real. If anything should have taken Song of the Year, it would have been Lizzo's Truth Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
She set records with this song. She rode the top 100 for, I think, 8 consecutive weeks. Bad Guy only hit 1 week.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I don't agree with.
Billie
Certain
Eilish
things.
is talented,
She is very talented.
but the songs that won were not the good ones.
I know.
And she...
But see, I think the thing about, like, with Billie Eilish is it's her as a person, like, because of her morals and, like, her sense of, like, she's kind of like this counterculture, this new counterculture of, I'm going to, like, with this whole Me Too movement going, like, I see her, like, you're not going to objectify me. You're not going
Right.
to turn me into something you want me to be. And I myself, if I had a teenage girl like that I was a father to, that's the type of role model that I would want her to look up to, instead of, like, when we were younger, you had what crazy, like, Britney Spears going around shaving her head off after, like, that Pepsi commercial, and, like, it was like she was, like, sexified because Britney,
lot.
yeah, and she was this teen pop star. Like, what was the one where she was in the schoolgirl outfit?
Hit Me Baby. One
Yeah,
more time.
like that you're being objectified.
Yeah.
And there's no way in the world that Billie Eilish would even consider doing something like that.
Well, and
So-
like you say in there, that's kind of, it brings me back to the one article that I read where Billie Eilish had worn a tank top out in public, and it was right after she had turned 18, I guess.
Oh, that was
And
the swimsuit.
she was just objectified,
Yeah,
and it was just, it was absurd. And I get that she's trying to eliminate the sexuality from music. I get that. But her music still didn't, in my eyes, her music did not bring the heat that Thank You Next brought.
Mhm.
I'm trying to look up the sales comparison. How much did Thank You Next sell compared to how much did whatever sell? And I'll get back to you guys so you guys can converse back and forth.
We were talking about, I don't know how we can, what transition to make here, whether we go to a new subject. So, Danny, how was your day?
Well, I just woke up, so I was actually having a really crappy day. I don't know. Chris thought I was going to bail on the podcast today, and I was thinking about it.
Are you being a grumpy Gil?
No, I just didn't want to talk to anyone.
Oh.
So
And then I walked in the door and it changed.
that's right.
Is
No.
my bubbly,
Well,
bright personality.
On all honesty, Kevin, I had no idea what the fuck you were talking about when you first came in, and then I put it together that we were talking about the Eminem thing. Chris was saying the idea you guys had about you know
Yeah.
cutting your finger. Chris never mentioned that we were going to be doing those.
Yes,
and
I did.
No, you didn't.
I said she don't pay attention, dude. She
No.
does not pay attention.
So
I paid attention enough to put it together. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
he's talking about something we're going to make. And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
yeah, so what Danny's talking about is Chris and I, we have this amazing plan that
Don't-
we're
don't
going
put
to.
it out
No,
there.
no. Hold on, I got this. I'm kind of teasing it right now because just keep your eyes out. We're gonna make something that's gonna be pretty much for everybody. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a
It's gonna be
pretty
dope.
requested album. Yeah, I think it's gonna be something that's very well received.
Opening week, Billie Eilish sold 313,000 equivalent sales. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank You Next did 330,000. So
I mean, they're not too.
Yeah, it's not too far.
it's not
off.
too far apart, but come on, man. Ariana Grande deserved at least one fucking Grammy. You don't invite her for your fucking
But
viewership.
she was very graceful about it, which that's why I like Ariana Grande because she doesn't let shit like that get behind her.
I am a fan of Billie Eilish. I actually do like the song I like nobody even fucks with. I like Ocean Eyes a lot.
I like that one song. I don't even know the name of it. It's not Bad Guy and it's not Ocean Eyes.
Is it,
about the mother.
Is it like Hell? Something about hell?
But let's
Yeah, I think it is.
All good girls go to
Yes.
heaven?
Yep, that
let's,
one.
Let's talk about the Grammys though.
Yeah.
The Grammys as a whole.
Is a fucking racist community.
Not even I don't want to go racist, but
Bias.
extremely, and they have a history of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I think they have I think they know well in advance who's winning.
Oh, they know.
100%. And the Grammys itself, they have this, instead of it being an unbiased, just opinion, not an opinion, like you have this panel of, hey, we're going to be there we go. That's the word I was looking for. An unobjectified goal. I mean, you look at when the whole Eminem thing, okay, when Emma's like, what, you're going to invite me to the Grammys just like I sit next to Britney Spears? And why? What? No, I don't want to.
Right.
His constant battle with the Grammys, and he's not going to win. Music to Be Murdered By is not going to win a Grammy.
I wish it would.
I mean, so do I.
Darkness could possibly.
But also,
Godzilla.
then you talk about the whole Kanye, Taylor Swift incident, stuff like that, to where, yes, Beyonce got snubbed.
I agree.
There are so many instances to where the Grammys, you just look at it and you go, you know what? I don't understand how they still have a viewership, honestly, because I can't tell you the last time that I did watch it.
I really feel like we just need award shows need to be fan voted.
And that's why you have iHeart.
There should be no such thing as a panel of 3 or 4 Jewish people determining.
Be careful.
I was gonna say.
well, let's be real.
No, Chris.
Yeah,
we
Let's
do.
be real.
Careful.
Hey,
I'm not. No, I'm just saying.
they're
what do
not
you-
all Jewish. Just
All
FYI.
right. All right. What
Chris is-
I'm talking. What does a 70-year-old Jewish man
Chris.
know about the hip hop community? What does he know about what people are listening to?
Right. I'll give you that.
I just wish, like Tyler, the Creator, said, they would categorize them in the right areas, not based on.
Now,
Well, and that's because a 70-year-old Jewish man categorized it.
now,
Why do you have to
here's-
say? I swear to God, Chris.
Here's my opinion
Baby,
on it. It's
That's what
I
they
look at
said.
it-
That's what people are saying. It's-
Side note: we are not against Jewish
No.
old
There-
men.
Fuck no, I love Jewish people.
Oh my
David
God.
Brody is my favorite fucking. David Brody is Jewish, and he's one of the best fucking comedians out there.
there's no anti.
Ooh, what about Ari Shafir?
Oh, right,
yeah,
Chris.
we'll
my
get, no,
God.
that's very important.
What the
that's,
fuck?
That's very important, and we'll get to that. But when I'm talking about like the Tyler Creator thing, it's I look at it and say, if this is what you want to be, if this is what you want to complain about, do something about it to change it yourself.
Right.
I'm not telling him to come out with a rock album or a country album, but there's no reason why he couldn't, because when Lil Wayne dropped his rock album, it actually won a Grammy, coincidentally.
Prom Queen wasn't that bad.
Prom Queen was not bad, and Drop the World. I'm going to drop the world on your fucking head.
I do feel like, all right, so people are hating on Kendrick Lamar for he actually has a rock album that is about to release. Okay, I don't believe it's rock. I believe it's rock inspired. But there's a lot of, and I only see this because all of our followers are MGK. But there's a lot of people thinking that these hip hop artists are stealing the rock idea from MGK.
No, not even.
Kendrick's is finished. MGK's is just getting started. You know what I mean? And I feel like MGK is actually putting out a pop, rock, punk album, whereas Kendrick is putting out a rock-infused
What
rap
about
album.
what about Lil Wayne? I mean, Lil
Right.
Wayne did a rock album before MGK was even relevant.
Right.
And when I say relevant, I mean he's still rapping at he's still put on shows at Peabody's.
Right.
So no, like you didn't steal anything from MGK.
I'm getting really tired of people letting their bias speak for them whenever they're having these debates about music.
I mean that's forever and always. I mean,
Numbers don't mean a thing, Chris.
Well, and that's one of the biggest arguments I hear. I was trying to argue with somebody about G-Eazy compared to Eminem or MGK, not Eminem, and they're like, "Fuck G-Eazy, he's garbage." I'm like, G-Eazy has more plaques than MGK could think of ever having.
Right.
And they're like, that don't mean shit. How the fuck does
How
that
does it
not
not?
mean shit? In the music industry, anybody, regardless of what you guys think, MGK does want a Grammy. MGK does want platinum selling CDs. He's not that big of a rebel that he doesn't want these things, because these things are what makes him fucking eat.
Right.
And not only eat, but makes you relevant.
Right.
But I mean, but then also, I can't make that correlation between music and sports because I think that those are two completely separate things, obviously. But if you want to try and make that correlation, you're talking about Dan Marino and saying because he didn't win a Super Bowl does not make him a relevant quarterback.
Oh, no doubt. No, I think so.
But you can
But
look
that's
at your
where
own
we're talking-
individual.
they're
But you
two
look
different
at
things.
right.
Yeah.
But you can look at your individual accolades and say, yes, he is an amazing quarterback. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback, obviously. The only thing he's missing is a Super Bowl ring. So if you can look at an artist and say they went double platinum, they went triple platinum, but they didn't win a Grammy, is it good career, but you never made it over that hump?
What? All right. So all right, let's try to be as objective as possible, okay? Without having any bias in it, what makes one artist better than another? And I'm just gonna throw two names out there: Logic, G-Eazy.
Okay.
What would you use in this argument of who's better than each other?
Sales.
You can use sales.
You're gonna use sales. You're gonna use Grammy appearances. You're gonna use
fans, follow. I guess with the whole social media thing, you can try and use followers because that's there in your face. You can't say 20 years ago. You can have people who are going to concerts, and that's how I guess you would gauge it: is who's selling out the most concerts, who's selling the most CDs.
So realistically, with them two, you would have to say they're pretty equivalent. They're on the same platform.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, let's say G-Eazy versus MGK. G-Eazy is selling out he's headlining arenas that are selling out. MGK
He's doing a stadium tour.
is doing stadium. Yes. Does that mean that MGK is not as good as an artist? Maybe not, but it does mean he's not as popular.
Right.
And in the industry, popularity goes a far way.
Because it makes you money. Why I don't care, just because someone doesn't appreciate what you put out until say after you're dead. Okay, that may be one thing, but when you sit there and you talk about how relevancy, the only thing that matters is who's listening to you, who's going to your shows, who is buying your merch, who's buying your CDs. Because it's not what have you done for me yesterday or what have you done. It's what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me now? It doesn't matter. This you talk about, say, let's use the damn band why is this escaping? Motley Crue.
All right.
Okay, we're going to go here. You go, Motley Crue isn't as relevant as they were during the 80s. Of course they're not. But guess what? They can still go and sell out stadiums. So does that take away from their greatness because they're not making great music today? Absolutely not. But they're still able to sell out these stadium tours even though they signed a contract saying that they weren't going to do it again. But
All right, so with the whole MGK versus Eminem thing. You see a lot of people saying that Eminem's just a bitter old man, and you hear his age as his number one insult. Like, don't you want MGK to be a 50-year-old successful rapper?
Right.
Or is he done after he's 30 years old?
Still making good beats, like still making good songs. Like that's
how
the
is
thing.
that an insult? The fact that this man has been able to survive in such a fucking critical industry for 25 plus years.
That's actually one of the when he said, "I'd rather be 80-year-old me than 20-year-old you." That was one of the most impactful lyrics of that entire response, because
80-year-old M is still better than a 20-year-old Kels.
But not only that, but it's talking about the age of the rap game, because you are 50 years old. You have no business still being in the rap game, let alone
dominating,
still putting out fire. Like, I don't want M to ever go away.
No.
And
I don't feel like he's ever going to. He said it on Walk on Water. I decide when it's my time to quit.
Right. But we know that time's going to come. I think that he might put out maybe one more album and then he'll hang it up.
There are certain artists who don't need to, like all right.
He's not touring.
I don't need to tour. I don't need to put out this music. I do it for the love of the game.
I wish you would, though. Like, shit,
no
dude.
doubt. Danny and I actually have this emergency fund that will go directly to.
It's not an emergency fund.
And we've agreed, we will go up to as much as $2,500 to see Eminem.
Yeah.
A piece or together?
Each. No, together, not each.
Oh, I was like, hot
I
damn.
thought it was each.
Well, you think
spend $5,000 on this tour?
Well, we would spend $2,500, and that's based on just his tickets ain't cheap.
No, they're not.
And it's one of those things that if you have the opportunity,
it's a bucket list.
You have to do it.
Yeah, that's bucket list.
Like I don't care if my house goes into foreclosure. I will come see you, Eminem.
The old school camp
we'll be
out
living in the cardboard box
down by the river. But like that old school camp out, like you have to. I'm gonna be if it's a general admission ticket, I'm gonna be standing in line 3 days early. I'm getting to the front.
So back to the whole who's better than who, whatever. My argument, man, as long as you're making money, you're good. As long as you have been able to maintain an income of above $1 million, like a net worth of above $1 million, doing what you do, I can't take away from you. My opinion doesn't. Me saying you suck doesn't mean you suck.
Right.
Bro, I can agree with that.
And there's so many people who just get offended when people think that Eminem is better than MGK. It's not.
Eminem
Why does it matter, dude?
MGK.
Why does it matter what I think?
Eminem is better than MGK.
All right.
By what standard? By sales, by accolades, by
all of the above.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying when I say that he's better, I'm talking about here today, right now. I'm not talking about what MGK can grow into as an artist, because as an artist, you should aspire to grow. You should aspire to be better.
Well, people keep on saying that Eminem does not show any growth. However, I played a song for Danny last night. It was Kill You, okay? Off of the Marshall Mathers LP.
Yep.
Tell me that he has not grown lyrically. Tell me he has not matured lyrically.
I said he did.
Right. There are so many people out there saying, no, he's still talking about, he's not talking about raping his mom anymore.
Thank God.
He actually put out Headlights as an apology, a formal apology to his mother, which is something nobody ever thought they'd hear.
Not only that, he said he's never doing Clean Out My Closet.
Right. Oh, and that's impressive, yeah.
He said, I'm never performing that ever again at any of my shows.
Tell me he hasn't grown.
No, he has grown.
Off the Grammys, off the music, off of all that shit. The biggest thing that happened this week, it's probably the saddest thing. Let's talk about it. Kobe Bryant, what happened?
Everyone knows by now. I mean, geez, I hope so at least. If you're hearing it for the first time through this podcast, I'm not. Let's be real.
Oh, right, guys, this is the last time I'm going to hear Kevin ever talk on the podcast.
No, that's not an insult to this. I mean, this happened.
He said
4 days ago.
This podcast?
No, I agree. If you're hearing it from us,
if you didn't hear it from
you're
Joe
on a rock.
Rogan, you're a piece of shit.
No, what I'm saying is, if you didn't hear it from your Facebook feed or like anywhere,
the moment it happened,
the news,
like that's what I'm saying. If you're hearing it from this podcast right here, right now. That's almost like you're living under a rock and you need to get some sunlight.
I don't want to come with that controversy. I don't want to, but I've been seeing a lot of hate. I've been seeing a lot of I can't respect this man. It even went as far as, like we said, Ari Shafir said that Kobe had died 23 years too late.
Listen, the only thing that I can hope for in my, like, what is this? I'm 30 years old. Like, I've never wanted Ari Shafir. I never wanted somebody to hear what I'm about to say so badly in my entire life. And this is the best way, because it's going to go on the internet and it's going to be there for a very long time. But Ari Shafir, fuck you. You piece of shit. I'm not going to wish anyone any ill will on anyone. But the fact that you think that something like that is okay to say,
Right.
like, I get it. People are looking at it. Oh, he's just a basketball player. But that man,
Doesn't
like,
matter.
my blood pressure is through the roof right now. Like, my heart is racing.
Their argument
because-
is that you're only focusing on him being a good basketball player. You're not feeling bad for the victims of the rape or any of that.
There was one case that happened, and it was an undisclosed amount, and they settled. And the prosecutor was the one who dropped the case. It wasn't because, yeah, she refused to testify. Okay, so if someone was to rate me, and I can't speak for any victims or anything like that, and I'm not trying to come off as a misogynistic pig. What I'm saying is in my point of view, no matter what, if somebody was to harm me, I'm going to do whatever it is that I have to do to make sure that they pay the consequences for their actions. So I'm not going to say, yeah, give me an undisclosed amount of money and I'll
correct.
forget about
Yeah.
this. Because no, you deserve to be punished and you can't buy me. So if that's what was necessary for that particular case, so be it. They settled it. They said, this is good enough for me, whatever. And nothing else has ever come of it. And this was what, 2003?
Right.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, there's sometimes reasons to be bought out for, like, obviously a lot of women don't like to be, like, put on a crucified, like, oh, just because Kobe Bryant is all popular and stuff you don't want to be objectified to all the hate that people are going to call you a liar and everything. So I understand maybe why you would be bought out, because you don't want to deal with all the backlash of being said, oh, I've been raped or something. But whatever. I'm not going to get into that side. I'm just saying there is reasons that you don't want to be involved.
Is it justified to say you wish death on him?
No. Oh no, I don't wish death on anyone. I don't even care if I hate you to.
No, yeah, I don't even wish death on the people on death row.
No,
you know what I mean?
Like I don't wish death on anyone. That's not me.
My thing is I sit there and I look at it and I go, the coroner released an autopsy today, actually. What is it, the 30th? So on January 30th, the coroner said that all 9 victims of the plane crash died from blunt force trauma due to a crash. That was the reason for death. So
they hit hard.
They had, that's what it was.
They 130 miles an hour, weren't they?
Like 125 or something.
Now imagine, like, just for a split second, just put yourself on that plane and think about the parents. I'm not even talking about Kobe, but the parents that were on that helicopter with their 3 kids trying to console their kids.
Well, I actually read a comment that was like, put yourself in the shoes, and I'm going to go back to Kobe. Put yourself in the shoes of Kobe. You have a pregnant wife at home. You got a daughter sitting beside you that you know is going to die. And you look at her and tell her you're going to be okay.
Everything's going to be okay.
Like,
you're trying to console them as the plane's going down.
Ari Shafir, you're really going to say that was cool? That's cool because he may or may not have done something in 2003?
Right.
Like, and the thing that, like, they were so close. Kobe had said that this girl is going to be a beast. She is better than me when I was at that age. That's a direct quote.
Here's what I hurt. I hurt for the wife. I hurt for the kid who doesn't get to live her life. You know what I mean? It's sad that Kobe, we lost a legend, but we lost way more than that. We lost, a kid who could have been a legend. We lost, the father, the sister, the family who had the one kid on the plane with them and 2 kids at home.
Right. Like, it's an extremely sad situation. And the thing that got me was Ari Shaffir. He goes,
And fuck you, Ari. Joe Rogan can't save you from this one. Fuck you.
he goes, oh, he put the tweet out like 10 minutes after he died.
And then said he was hacked.
And then goes, oh, I was hacked.
But never deleted.
And never
Yeah.
deleted it. But the best part about it is he had the Instagram video saying the exact same thing. So don't come out and lie on some bullshit.
Yeah, own it. Own it. If you want to be that piece of shit, own it.
If you want to be, and I get it, like that's his career. Like he wants to be that shock comedian, like
Yeah,
whatever.
but shock humor is only good when it's appropriate.
But not only that, like let's use Louis C.K. He'll go out and say some shit to make you go, oh, that's funny, but that's kind of edgy.
But nobody was
But-
joking about 9/11 right after the plane hit the tower.
Well, actually, who was it? There was a it was on a roast in New York City on
It was
Comedy
probably
Central.
Pete Davidson,
I can't
who
remember.
talks about his dad.
Yes, and it happened like right after that, and then everyone was just kind of like, oh, and he didn't do a roast again. Like that,
Yeah.
they didn't invite him back. Like that was like, dude, that's too soon. But the thing that gets me about the whole Ari thing is, you piece of shit. Yeah, I can't because like I'm just gonna get worked up all over
All
again.
right. Well, I want to know, Danny, how when we read, all right, when we woke up, it was we had to work that night. When we woke up and you read about Kobe, what did you think?
I thought it was fake fucking news. Like, I'm like, what
No
the
doubt.
fuck? Like, I had to look at different sources before I could even say anything to you. I'm like, oh, by the way, like, I guess while we were sleeping, Kobe Bryant.
You lost, and the guy
Passionate.
was like, he was an all-around good sport. Like, he was the night prior to that going to congratulate LeBron James for
Breaking one of his
for breaking the
records.
records and shit like that. Kobe's very last tweet was a congratulations post to LeBron James. Like, he was selfless. He didn't care about his numbers. He didn't care. He wanted the future of basketball to be better.
And that's the thing. Like with him, it was actually when he was playing, he was that I'm going to murder. Like only thing I got ice water in my veins. The nickname Black Mamba. They strike with a 99% accuracy at a fast clip. So he's saying I'm lethal when I'm on the move. Okay, that's how he dubbed himself that nickname. He cared about those accolades. He cared about the championships, 5-time championship, 18-time All-Star. He's in the league for 20 years. So he wasn't an All-Star for 2 years.
How many Olympic medals does this man have?
Two.
Like, he's
Two-time
you're fucking
Olympian.
Impressive catalog of what you've done.
And not only that, but like we talk about what Nipsey did for the city, Kobe did for the city. And when Kobe retired in 2016, he looked at it and said, okay, I had my time. I had my time in the sun. Now what I need to do is I need to make this next generation better. I'm not worried about my own personal accolades now. I had my opportunity. Now what I need to do is I need to give that same opportunity to someone else. And not only in the world of basketball, but in life. Because I'm not saying that his life was something that was beautiful, but I mean, his parents would sit there and he went and go bought his parents a house. And this is a quote for him. He goes, I go to buy my parents a house and they tell me, oh, that's not good enough.
What?
Yeah. He goes, my parents went and sold my high school jersey and my Olympic rings.
What
They tried
the
to sell it
fuck?
without even telling me. So he had an extremely distant relationship with his parents for the last, I want to say that
Over
happened in
some
like 2004.
motherfucking money, dude. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
They're trying to get rich off of their kids' fame. And then Jerry West ended up becoming like his father type figure. And Jerry West, like watching Jerry West and Shaq on TNT when they were doing like the tribute to it, it broke my heart. Like when we were talking last week about the Mac Miller death and we were saying like how people felt for it. And I said that I couldn't relate to it because I didn't really listen to Mac, but the Kobe I felt some type of way about it because me personally, I always respected Kobe's greatness. I knew that Kobe was one of he was in my top 5. But I didn't truly appreciate that man while he was playing because I was too busy being here in like close to Cleveland. I'm focused on LeBron. But when we were younger, everybody wanted to be like Kobe.
Like, yeah, you can't throw up any kind of air ball, any kind of paper ball, anything without saying Kobe. And I mean, it's not going to have the same effect anymore. It's going to be. But back to how you said you felt heartbroken.
Like,
Jimmy Fallon's little speech. I told Danny, I was like, I don't fuck with sports, but hearing Jimmy talk about his first encounter meeting Kobe, they were both new to L.A. Kobe was 17, Jimmy was 21. They were going on a beer run.
mm-hmm.
They couldn't get the beer because where they had went was just a delivery place only. You couldn't purchase anything there. And he said Kobe put his badge up to the window and said, "I'm a Laker."
Mm-hmm.
And they got whatever the fuck they wanted. And, you know, Jimmy's just going on. He kind of cries a little bit, obviously. And just hearing him talk about how they would link up over the next 30 fucking years, it was kind of sad, man. I felt, you know, teary-eyed.
Right.
And I've never felt that way for any death of anything. So Kobe's impacted everybody.
And the thing about it, like I said, there's like all these tribute videos and stuff that you see on Facebook and all sorts of social media sites. There was just one picture that I saw that hit me to my core. And it was just a simple picture. And it was him inbounding a ball. He had his 24 jersey on. It's burned into my head. I'll never forget it. It was 24 jersey. It was white with purple piping, with the gold piping and purple numbers. And he's going to inbound this ball. And he's like, his daughter is sitting directly behind him. And he's facing the court. And as a professional athlete, the only thing that you're supposed to be doing and paying attention to and worried about is the game, because that's what you're paid to do. This is your job. But his daughters and his family and his wife were always sitting courtside. And there's just a picture of him reaching his hand back to give his daughter a high five. And she's giving him a high five as he's getting ready to inbound this ball. That he is worried about his kids. He's a girl dad. That's his concern. I have goosebumps talking about it. And he cared so much about his family, and he was more than a basketball player, and so much more than that. And, you know, for me personally, I'm sitting there looking at it and I'm saying the world lost a real one.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. And I've gone on this tangent.
All right, so Jordan is very, you know, he's Jordan. He's fucking Michael Jordan. All right, no doubt. And people are going to feel an extreme sadness whenever his time comes. Kobe's extreme sadness is because his time didn't come. You know what I mean?
He wasn't supposed to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Everyone always knew that. But it wasn't supposed to be, he wasn't supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be posthumous to where it's, hey, he's 41 years old.
Kobe shouldn't have passed away until my kids don't know who Kobe is.
Like he retired in 2016. I mean, he had 4 years of retirement from a game that he loved.
You know what's crazy about that though? 2 people at my company died within a year of retiring.
You know, they say that
that shit. Should I never retire?
There's this. They say that the average lifespan, not the average, but if you don't keep yourself busy, it's like 6 months.
All right, so how do we, Danny, I'm going to ask you first because I know that you get disgusted by shit like this.
What?
TMZ put the information out before the officials could notify Kobe's family.
That is so disrespectful. I can't. I never had respect for TMZ anyways,
no.
But if you're out just to get a story, just fucked up. Like, the family found out through TMZ that your father, your husband, whatever.
Oh, that's going to be the
away.
worst
Like,
day of, what's her name, Vanessa?
Vanessa.
Vanessa's life.
Yeah.
Oh, it most definitely is. 100%.
I mean, you lost your daughter and your husband, and the way you found out was TMZ. Like, that's fucked up.
TMZ is just, I can't even think of the word that I'm looking for because that's beyond fuck. That is like cringe.
Well,
It's
it's not
embarrassing.
even
cringe.
TMZ. I can't even say it's just TMZ because even in our local...
Paparazzi in general.
It's not just paparazzi, Chris, if you let me talk for 1 second. You see
All right.
our
Keep running your
newspaper. Yeah, I'm going to keep running my mouth. Our newspaper, if you just pay attention, like even car crashes or something like that, they'll say, oh, the police won't say anything. Well, no shit, because they want to notify family first. But they'll say, like, well, the car is registered to so-and-so. Like, so they still try to, like, say who the fucking, like, person that died is, but they can't confirm it. But still, it's, like, fucked up.
So
like,
what you're saying is journalism.
Yes, it's a fucked up situation altogether. Like, I don't know. Like, they have to figure it out. Or, like, a house burning down. They say, well, we don't know who was inside, but the house is registered to blah,
Right,
blah, blah.
yeah, I got
like,
you.
Fuck off. Like, that's what...
We were watching paparazzi videos yesterday. Just
I
because
hate paparazzi.
I couldn't. Could you imagine a life of... And I told Danny, I think Justin Bieber's probably got it the worst. This motherfucker can't do shit. I mean, he could fucking dress up in a costume to try to not look like Justin Bieber and still be found.
Listen, that's like there's some YouTubers that I follow, and a lot of them anymore they won't even do a face reveal because they don't want that business. They don't want
Surprisingly enough, like people like Shaq and people like Laid Back, they're actually just by being YouTubers, they're big enough to have the hassle of people knowing who I am.
right, and that's like say like I have no desire to ever do a face reveal. Like say this does blow up and then you end up having say millions of followers. Like
It's
no,
going to.
I never. Way to go.
Yeah, that Chris just dropped his phone.
It is going to blow up. I don't want to hear say this does. I want to hear say when this does blow up.
Just an FYI, guys.
Jesus, so
I
what,
am
this-
not a friendly person. So if
Fuck
you come up to
no,
me, I
dude.
might be the biggest
I mean,
bitch you meet.
just heard how she straight up, if you'd let me fucking finish. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Like, I am not the nicest person.
Forget about
So, and I don't like people around me.
You guys know what we forgot to do, right?
What?
We forgot to play her voicemail.
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
we
did.
No, we just
Rest
haven't
in
done
peace,
it yet.
Kobe.
Yes. R.A.P.
R.I.P. to the legend, Kobe Bryant. Anybody who thinks that it was warranted, eat a fat fucking dick. And, yeah, pretty
Catch me
much.
outside.
Yeah. How about that? Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. No, I mean, I'm with you, dude. That's just, I don't give a fuck about some shit that may or may not have happened. I know what did happen, and he died way too soon.
Yeah.
Not to mention the 13-year-old, not to mention, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Not the rest of the
kids
family.
on
Yes, yeah.
helicopter.
Go ahead and go. We can have a keyboard war down in the comments.
Right, no doubt.
section.
Yeah, I
I'm
love
ready for that.
keyboard warriors are the greatest.
I'm ready for
I'm
that. So
actually
troll
in
me.
a
Chris
conversation
is in a
right
debate.
now.
Oh, it's not even a debate.
I'm arguing with this dude who, all right, you know that song "Ride It"? It's a Jay Sean song that was remixed recently. Here, I'll play it for you. Not you guys, obviously. So yeah, that's where we are. We're in this debate with this motherfucking dude. I'm not gonna throw his name out there, but on the song "Ride It" by the DJ named Regard, it's Regard remix. I said it sounded just like Smack That.
Yeah, for sure. It most of it certainly does. It has
And this dude's just a fucking bitter old hater.
was the similarities. You can definitely. It's not a sample, no way
No,
in the
yeah,
world.
yeah.
But you can sit there and say, yeah, that kind of does resemble it. I can make the correlation between the two.
I don't even know what brought that up. Why were we talking about that?
Because I said
we'll wait for the comments on the
yeah, I said
YouTube.
Oh yeah, man.
for someone
the
to
fucking
please troll
keyboard
me.
warriors, dude. It's so easy. Like,
Chris, you're one of those keyboard
no, I'm
warriors.
a good troll. I am
'Cause-
really good at talking shit, but I'm also willing to fucking talk shit to your face.
Yeah. It's just annoying because you know when Chris is in a battle, because I swear to God, his facial expressions are ridiculous. I know. It's like you can
No.
see he wants to yell at the phone, but he can't because it looks stupid. And
All right, Danny.
what are you doing?
No, that was
That
me.
was Kev.
Oh.
So we're gonna go ahead and throw in this voicemail. Still don't have my beat. iDub has. He actually moved. I'm not gonna try to say he's been dropping the ball. He's been busy, and I can understand that. So we'll have the beat eventually. Until then, go ahead, Danny. Do the.
Brittany asks.
Hey y'all. Hey Danny. Hey Chris. This is Brittany again with her weekly question. I know it's late. I know y'all are already recording because I just got a message from y'all. and I'm literally in my Walmart walking around trying to think of a question, trying to just hide away from my family because my family doesn't know that I do the podcast, and I would like to keep it that way. So maybe one day, I don't know what will happen, but just the way I could think that I don't know. Okay, so my question is, I'm a medical student, and I'm currently going to school right now, medical student. But I want to know if you ever had like a surgery or just something crazy happen to you medically. So yeah, that is my question. I hope it makes sense. I hope it's not confusing. And I will see y'all next week with my next question. Bye, y'all.
Well, I don't have anything that's ever broken on me. Danni breaks my heart sometimes, but
Sometimes.
that's just, the duties of a wife, I suppose.
A mean one.
Yeah, I mean, like a bitch. A
Hey.
bad
Hey, there it goes. We come full circle.
Listen, a bad bitch.
No, right, there we come full circle.
Bitch bad.
Woman good.
Lady better.
Misunderstood.
All right, anybody, what do you got, Kevin?
I had my tonsils taken out, and it's actually kind of a creepy story.
Yo, you also had pink eye in 6th grade. I remember that, too.
I mean, I've had pink eye too.
yeah,
I think
people have
all us
pink
had
eye.
pink eye.
I ain't never had pink
I
eye.
had pink eye. Yeah.
Well,
How do
then
remember
lucky
that?
you.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's
No, I
kind of
remember
weird.
that.
Like,
That's pretty dope.
maybe because you didn't want to catch it.
Maybe. But yeah, like when I had my tonsils taken out, it was a kind of a gross story, I guess. Like I remember I was probably like 9, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom had woke me up because she was checking on me, like, moms do.
Right.
And she had noticed that like I had blood on my pillow. So like she woke me up, and for whatever reason, like I guess like in black families, like if you drink ginger ale and like sit on the toilet, like everything's just gonna be better. So
What?
like
Damn,
yeah,
you half black?
yeah.
Danny.
So I mean, like I don't
I swear
know.
to God, I'm half black.
She's got to be half black.
So yeah, like it's not like you don't even have to go poop. Like you just sit on the
She
toilet.
does.
Like
That is her exact fucking cure for
yeah,
everything.
ginger
dude.
ale and
Did
yeah.
you sit on the
I'm
toilet?
talking.
Yeah.
Did
If
you
her,
get some ginger ale?
her foot hurts. She's like, baby, you got to get me that ginger ale.
Right.
You know where I'll be.
so like she gave me this ginger ale and I sat on the toilet and she's calling the hospital and they tell me get him there like now.
Oh no shit.
So she rushes me to the hospital and I'm like lightheaded and woozy. Like I
Oh,
guess like I
shit.
lost like a lot of blood. And so I remember sitting in the ER and I'm laying in the bed and the doctor comes in and says, "Hey, don't let him cough. Don't let him sneeze.
Right.
Don't let him talk. Don't let him do anything because the scab from where my tonsils were removed, there's it's falling off and
Yeah.
he could see like there's a blood clot down there." So he goes, "We're going to take him to surgery right now. Just everything will be fine. Don't worry about it." Literally, the doctor walks out of the room,
And you coughed.
turns around, and I go, "Mom." She goes, "What?" And I go, "I don't remember. Chew."
Oh, no.
And as soon as I sneeze, I guess like it might have been like, "Don't think of an elephant," and then you think of an elephant, you don't sneeze, and then so I had to sneeze. So as soon as I sneezed, the last thing I remember is my head goes back and I'm laying on the pillow, and all of a sudden this blood clot comes out and it lands directly on my chest, and it's the size of
Ew.
my hand now.
Thanks,
And-
Brittany. Thanks.
And there was one, and then I remember another one coming out that was caught in like the kidney pee pan thing, and then after that, complete blackout.
Yeah, but did you
Like-
die?
Like
Oh, okay.
did I die? I don't know. I remember like I passed out. I know it was like a whiteout. Now
Yeah.
whether I died or not, I don't know. Nobody ever confirmed or denied it.
You know
But-
what? I think you did.
Yeah, we can say I did. Yeah.
We are talking with the dead man.
Yeah, I died. Sure. I flatlined for a minute. And so once that ended up happening, like I hear my mom screaming, "Somebody help my baby." And then I'm out. Like that was terrifying.
Well, yeah.
And then-
especially when your mom's screaming.
Right. And then so I wake up and this is how I woke up. I woke up with this pain in my stomach and I farted. And it was like the loudest, raunchiest fart that I've still yet to, like, I'm a grown man now. And at 9, that was like the epitome. That was
Yeah,
the best fart that I've
to
ever had.
get that fucking ginger ale out.
It was, I guess it was like gas from the anesthesia.
Yeah.
Like
You get
it,
gas pains.
and so like when it came out, like I shared a room with another family and everyone evacuated. Like it wasn't just like my parents, like they're like, "We have to get out of here." Like it was like the proudest moment of my life.
I don't think I've ever had any surgeries. I I don't think I've ever. Yeah, nothing. One time I thought I broke my wrist skateboarding, and this is actually kind of cool story. Josh will remember this. We were at the Newton Falls skate park, and I don't want to blame anybody, but I'm going to.
I've already heard this 100 times.
What?
Oh, Bob Dylan.
So hey,
Okay.
Let Brittany tell the story. Brittany,
on.
let Danny
Yeah.
tell the story.
Yeah, go
We're
ahead,
gonna come
Danny.
over Brittany.
Because it's
because
Brittany
Brittany.
asked.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so yeah, let Danielle tell the story, and then
You're gonna have to cut that one
All right.
thing out because I can't say his last name. Just
No, Bobby's already said his last name.
you sure?
Yeah, but yeah, he said I'm Bob Dylan, not the Bob Dylan, but
Okay.
you're stuck with
I
me
just
anyway.
didn't want to say his last name without
No,
his
yeah,
permission.
Bob Dylan. We're not cutting that out, Bobby. You probably didn't even make it this far, so whatever. So what's the story, Danny?
So you're going down like I think it was a half pipe or whatever. I
Okay.
don't know. It's like
Okay.
I don't usually do skateboarding. And then Bobby thought it would be funny when you
No.
went down,
No,
he would throw the fucking skateboard in front of you.
that's a different story. That's not the time that I thought I broke my wrist.
Oh, I thought it was.
This is just Bobby being a dick.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought that was Bobby being a dick, but okay.
No, the story that she's talking about was when I first tried to learn how to drop in on a half pipe.
Okay. See, I remember your stories.
Bobby had a fun tube from a swimming pool. Okay, and as they finally convinced me, because he had a 6-foot half pipe in his backyard, and they finally convinced me to drop in. And what's he do? He throws a fun tube in my direct path of travel, which causes me to fly.
that's a good friend.
Yeah, no. Bobby turned me into Superman for a brief moment. However, the story I'm talking about is I do believe it was still Bobby involved. Somebody fell, okay? Somebody fell off of their board at the same time that I was trying to do something on the Mini, which is also a half pipe but just smaller. And their board would come out in front of me and trip me because, that's what happens whenever you're on shit that moves really fast and something gets in your direct travel. So I go to stop myself from falling with my hands, right? Which is actually very bad. You're not supposed to land with your hands palm down because and I thought I broke my wrist, which is what's supposed to happen when you land like that. Ronnie was the only person I knew who could take me to the hospital. We got to St. Joe's in Warren, okay? My mom and them were already there. So I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Angel actually did break something or actually did hurt something, and I was not of a priority. So as they're tending to my sister who is actually hurt, keep in mind, I still think my wrist is broken. I felt like smoking cigarettes and going back to skateboarding was more important than waiting because I had waited for about an hour. So I might have broken my wrist, and it does do that
Clicky
little
thing.
weird, I can make it pop whenever I want. So, yeah. What do you got, Danny?
I didn't break anything, but
My
I
heart.
was, other than his heart, but I was running around chasing a little kid at my friend's house the one time, and I turned really sharp, and I thought I broke my ankle, and the doctor said, "Oh, that looks broke." It was so swollen, I could not step on it. I couldn't even move my foot, and it was already purple and blue. And they did an x-ray and just said I did a really bad sprain on it.
That's worse than a break.
And it hurt like a bitch. And I had to use an air cast and crutches for 2 weeks. And that's as close to a break I've ever gotten, and I never want to break anything in my life.
No doubt. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of putting my life in somebody else's hands. So that's why I don't want to ever break anything. We got our Today I Learned. Before we get to that, does anybody want to talk about it? Go listen to Marlon Craft. Everybody listening, go check out Marlon Craft. I think you'll like him. He's from Hell's City, New York.
And he's a New York baby.
Or Hell's Kitchen, not Hell's City. Hell's Kitchen, New York. And
I was like, that's not one of the boroughs.
he is definitely a New York baby. I actually want to show Kevin this. I don't know if he actually responded or not. So hold on, we'll be right back. So I just played Marlon Craft, New York baby, and I feel like he had, obviously he's from New York, so he's going to sound like what inspired him. but he sounds an awful lot like 50.
I like it. I like it a lot. I always said that I was born in the wrong place. I should have been born in New York. I love that place, man. Love the city. Go down to Midtown Manhattan, get yourself some Sam's Pizza, and you will not be sad.
I've never been there. When we went to Philly, I wanted to go. We wanted to take the train over, but it just didn't happen. Danny is not opposed to going to New York as long as I'm not the one driving.
No,
That's right.
we'll go. For real, we'll go.
I'm down. So before we finish this, we always do our Today I Learned. Does everybody here have one, or am I the only one who's like looking for one?
No, you're always the one that's prepped and ready.
All right. So I'll let the people who are prepped and ready go. Go ahead, Danny.
All right. Today I learned you're more likely to get a computer virus from visiting a religious site rather than porn sites.
Ooh.
And they only do that because you know that porn sites don't want you to be dissuaded not to visit their sites, so they have better
Privacy protection,
like security, whatever they call it. So, yeah, I thought that was really weird.
Yeah. Dude, so I got to come up with something clever. You know, you can visit Pornhub before you visit, the temple.
I'm gonna leave my views out of it.
Why?
Because we'll talk about that on another podcast. We'll do that for. We can do that for Drunk Blow My Mind.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna do an episode that features 2 drunk people and Chris.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be pretty annoying for the Chris.
We'll have like a little house party one night, and then Kevin will crash over here, and then we'll just get liquored up and have a good time. Make a podcast.
So with that being said, I really hope you like getting licked. By dogs.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just crash on the couch. That's cool.
I'm gonna let Sam sleep with him.
Cool. So, like, my Today I Learned is that the Mayan civilization, okay, it was just discussed that maybe climate change is a huge reason as to the sudden disappearance. They used to caused by a severe drought and overfarming because they found a way to produce mass amounts of food, and they overpopulated. They forested. They cut down a bunch of trees and farmed too much. They were too powerful, and there was this sudden drought that possibly was a huge reason as to the cause of their decline.
What do you got, Danny? You think that's
But I mean, it's kind of scary if you think about it, because if you have the Mayan civilization to where all of a sudden they just disappear with what we have going on today with climate change, whether you believe it's real or not.
No,
here's the thing. I think that people can't deny the fact that it does exist. The argument is whether man has an influence on it or not.
Fuck yeah. You don't think we have a carbon footprint? You're dumb.
No, we do have a carbon footprint, yes. But just like when the ozone, the CFCs, remember that big push? And then you come to find out, the ozone naturally has a hole in it, and it'll go back to normal in a few years. Sorry, CFCs do not have that big of an effect on it.
So
it's the same cause, the same conversation.
Have you watched that show called Pandemic? It's on Netflix.
I started watching.
All right,
it, yes.
I'm with you, man. Just the thought of something, maybe not even the climate or the climate change or any of that, but just the thought of something coming and wiping us all out. It's not out of question.
Oh, we'll do that next week. Let's do that one next week.
All right.
This will be fun.
I actually, you know how Danny said something about, the porn being more safe than the... All right, so last week, whenever I said something about the spank bank, Kevin said, you got to release them demons. So, why porn is more safe of a website to visit than church? It's because you got to release them demons before you cleanse the soul.
Hey, how about that?
Yeah, that's what I thought of. All right, so today I learned a Futurama episode contains a real-life mathematical theorem which was specifically made for that episode, thus making it the very first known theorem to be created for the sole purpose of entertainment in a television show.
That's cool.
Futurama has always been one of my favorite, animated cartoons or animated adult series, and I thought that was pretty fun pretty fun fact.
When we're done with this, I'm going to show you a real cool video.
I've been feeling like, fuck you. I'm a New York baby. Oh, man, we took her out to eat yesterday, and the whole time I said, I'm a New York baby.
Well, wait
dude,
till
we went to
New York.
Applebee's, and what do you think of this? All right, so they put us at a fucking chair or at a table that was separated from another table by a wall, but the wall didn't go all the way up. So as I look to my left, I'm sitting next to another family eating. Like I could put my hand on their plate.
I was not having it.
Is that like what the fuck are you thinking, man?
Listen,
I can't have no privacy in my conversation.
So listen, when we went to me and a friend of mine, we went to New York just recently. We went, I don't remember, it was a few months ago, but we found this tiny little Italian restaurant called Mercado's. I'll never forget it. It was fantastic, but it was so small that I'm having dinner with her, and as close as you and I are was the next couple that was having dinner. And then it was almost kind of like bench seating, but we were at tables because the place was almost
Well, that's how this
like
felt.
three.
That's but I expect that in a big city. I don't expect that at
At
fucking
Applebee's.
Applebee's in Niles, Ohio.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I almost left. I almost said, no, we're not doing this.
Does
Then they ended up leaving. I saw that they were getting their check, so I'm like, okay.
does Kevin have a girlfriend?
No, Kevin does
No?
not have a girlfriend.
A lady friend.
Kevin is single.
All right.
Kevin is single.
Single. Is he ready to mingle?
No.
So he
We-
is mingling with a lady friend. She's just not the thing that takes away from single.
Correct. It's a very precarious situation that I'm not ready to talk about with the internet. So,
All right, so,
we'll discuss this at a later time.
Internet. I got Kevin his very first like autograph thing for a band. 30 Seconds to Mars. It'd be here tomorrow. I was hoping it would be here today, but it did not.
Oh, dude, that's
Motherfucker. With that said,
You
I guess.
forgot to tell Kevin what I did.
What did you do?
You want to refresh my memory?
You said that you were going to tell him what I did.
Oh,
Dude.
whoa,
What the fuck,
dude! This should be your teaser.
Oh my god.
This should be your teaser for like the first 30 seconds of like you need to cut this and put it at the beginning of the podcast. 'Cause Jesus, man, I've never seen you so excited.
Oh my god.
What?
All right, so long time ago, I went to see Machine Gun Kelly with Josh and Adam. Okay.
Yeah.
We all got a signed copy of 100 Words and Running, and we all thought it would be smart to have him sign a dollar bill. During my, darker days, I had sold my dollar bill.
Okay.
I finally got Josh to agree to sell me his.
Okay.
Spent $100 on $1 bill.
Okay.
It was in a blue folder to preserve it until I got it framed.
No.
That blue folder was on my table. Now, this isn't Danny's fault. It got knocked off the table because of the fucking cat that we are getting rid of as soon
We're
as
not
I finish
getting
this
rid of
episode.
him.
He knocked it off the table. The dog ate the folder. The dog did not destroy the part of the folder that had housed the dollar bill. That part is now at the fucking dump because Danny threw it away.
Oh.
I found this
didn't
out.
know.
I found this out yesterday because 2 nights ago. I says, Danny, I think I made a mistake. I think I misplaced this dollar bill. She's like, well, where was it? So it's in this blue folder, and I just cannot find this blue folder. So
threw it away.
she doesn't tell me instantly.
No.
I couldn't
No,
remember.
she does not remember. I did see a blue folder, but I don't know
said
if I
all
threw it
saw was I
away.
seen a blue folder.
And then it hits her. You know what? I did. I threw that motherfucker away 3 nights ago. I'm sorry, Chris, blah, blah, blah. But that dollar bill is gone.
You can contact the dump and go find it if you want. Like if it means that much to you. That's what I found. There was this story of these couples, women who take their wedding rings off, and like they say they're getting in the shower or whatnot, and they accidentally get thrown away. Then they go, oh my god, and they go to the dump and they find them.
Does that work?
Yeah,
I can go to the dump.
Yeah,
I can't
Say
do
you
that.
threw away something important, and you need to see if you can find it.
Adam, if you're listening, dude, just let me buy yours. I would rather do that.
125.
Oh no, I have a number that I'm willing to stop at. It's $250. We will not.
You don't tell him how much it is, because now he's gonna be like, all right, $250 and it's yours.
Well, he don't listen.
Oh,
So we won't go above $250, Adam.
I think
that's- that
we're
$250 could help a lot of people.
where are we at? 130. I think we're gonna have to edit this a bit.
Nope. I'm leaving it as real as it is.
Oh.
Dude, we've had a 2-hour episode before. I don't give a fuck. If you listen, you listen. If you don't, you don't.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is anymore.
All right, fam. Love you.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. So
We out.
hold on. We're not out yet. We're gonna.
Oh.
I'm gonna input the outro, and then we're gonna speak over it. Okay. Hold on.
Nah.
All right, and that's the end of the episode. Call 859-444-4641 to leave us some voicemails. None of you do but Brittany, so I'm going to stop fucking saying that. Leave them 5-star reviews on iTunes. Danny, what else should they do?
Did you get the email?
Yeah, email us at WTFDaveandChris@gmail.com. Why Dave and Chris?
Because we still like Dave.
Because we still like Dave. We
still
started
love
this
Dave.
with Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you knew that.
Yeah. I was listening to
Oh,
that.
all right. Anything you want to say, Kev?
Love you.
We might have to edit that.
Everyone.
Kind of
All of the people. Love you.
No, we're joking. We love you guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.